Mags on Media coming to you from the sunny south of France and the 60th Cannes Line Festival of Creativity. When you exit the Palais, the famous 3-kilometre walkway known as the Croisette becomes an extension of the festival. Flanked by exclusive 10,000 rand a night hotels and fancy designer shops on the one side and the tranquil Med on the other, it really is the place to be seen. A new feature this year were rows of cabanas lining the Croisette. They were run by various advertising agencies, and here delegates could watch live feeds of the seminars happening inside the Palais, but with a beer in the hand.
We're kind of open to everybody. We sat down a couple of years ago and thought, what could we do at Cannes? The idea really was to create a space where people could recharge themselves and recharge their phones and their iPads and that kind of thing. So it's a really relaxed atmosphere. People come in, they sit, they chat. One of the big things about Cannes is that it's less about formalized meeting schedules and more about the chance of networking together. So you have to create the space for people to do that.
The Wunerman agency christened their cabana the Third Space.
Third space, it's a place where people can come, and the definition of third space is really, it's not your home, it's not your work, but it's a place of community. Outside of both of those, that you can form a community, and I think it's been incredibly successful for us. Just the traffic that's been going by and people spontaneously stepping in and being able to watch the streaming of the seminars in an air-conditioned space, or semi-air cool space, let's put it that way. So it's been a great way to be really in the festival itself and close to the Palais.
Trish Wheaton is well known in the advertising industry and lists big names like Microsoft, Kraft and Ford among her clients. She was a member of the direct jury for this year and shared some secrets on what happens behind the scenes in those jury rooms.
The judging process is really one of the most awesome experiences you can have if you're in the business that we're in. Because Cannes is about creativity. It's about the world coming together, to share the best creativity that year. And the judging process is really a window into that at the very root level. So I'm free to say, we looked at 2,600 different campaigns, pieces of work, and so on. The expectations are high in terms of your physical and mental endurance. With that in mind, I think it's important for creative people around the world when they're submitting to this festival to understand the experience of the individual jurors and just what that is like. And I certainly am going to counsel our teams on, you need to be captivating in 6 seconds right off the top. Otherwise, you lose it.
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear.
Dumb Ways to Die was really one of my favorites, and it did become one of the most viral videos in the world. And I think what was ingenious about that is I always kind of go back to what would the initial brief have looked like. So you have a client comes the train Metropolitan Train Authority in Melbourne, says we want to stop adolescents and teens from falling onto the railway tracks. That sounds like probably a small assignment. And what they did with it, they moved the human race with it. They really did. And I think that's where the genius, where you just have to say, wow.
Dumbest ways to die. The dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Be safe around trains, a message from Metro.
What's left with you at the end of the process is you have an excellent understanding of regional creativity. What countries are truly punching above their weight? Not just winning awards, but really developing ideas that captivate and that are refreshing. And I would say the two that come to mind are Australia and New Zealand. They've been incredibly successful at this festival. And it's not just about winning awards, it's really about ideas. I think South Africa is becoming a force to be reckoned with. There was great entries from South Africa.
Solution to child hunger exists.
Add hope.
Add hope!
Add Hope, KFC's CSI, and an in-store mechanic that lets customers donate R2 to feed a hungry child.
So we launched an online game using Google Street View technology and combined it with the sociability of Facebook. We called it Volkswagen Street Quest. We challenged Volkswagen Facebook fans to find and pin as many Volkswagens as possible in weekly quests.
A Gold Line winner and another campaign worth mentioning in the direct category was the astounding work by DDB Singapore for their client StarHub Mobile. The agency created a mobile app wherein visually impaired people could take a photo with their phones and then send it out to a network of volunteers who would respond by describing the picture.
Gets in his car and drives away far from all the things that we are. Puts on a smile and breathes it in and breathes it out. He says bye 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 to all of noise.
I see a small stream in the foreground. Shape the next reply. To your left, I see red tulips blooming. There's a group of runners stretching and warming up. Uploading. Uploading. The oranges are from Australia and they look very fresh. I see a great buy. You should get them.
The astronomical flight and accommodation costs, as well as hefty delegate fees, make it very difficult for a lot of South Africans to attend the festival. One of the lucky ones was Ogilvy Cape Town's Executive Creative Director Chris Gotz. We asked him to make a prediction on a local campaign he thought would bring home an award this year.
Behind me is a print campaign from Low Bull in Cape Town for the Cape Times called Selfies, which, if I was going to pick one piece of South African press work this year that I like, whether it's going to win or not, I don't know. I sincerely hope it does. I think that it's a superb, fresh idea. I think the idea of taking a photograph of yourself has nice current digital relevance, and I think that applying it to a newspaper's first-hand view of the world is a fabulous interpretation of the idea.
Selfies by the Low Bull agency for the Cape Times managed to scoop a silver lion in the print category. More from the Cannes Lions when Mags on Media continues.
News that moves. enca.com.